guess who's back? Yes, that's right. Finally. And in case you didn't know, spoiler alert, but it's been weeks now, so it is what it is. But The Rock has come back to the Fast and Furious franchise, and a lot of people saw the thing that also got spoiled online, which was really stupid and kind of desperate, in my opinion. And I do believe that it was the studio that was involved with that leak. But The Rock coming back to the Fast franchise is something that I think the franchise needed. Because I've told y'all this too. When you look at the money, the box office sales, yeah, the other franchise, the other Fast movies was making decent money, little 100 mil here, little extra 50 mil there. But when The Rock came in on Fast 5, that's when this thing started jumping up exponentially, because having The Rock in there took this whole franchise to another level. Now, when The Rock left, franchise started to dip, and it dipped heavy. Okay. And we'll get into that a little later, but it was not a good look for the franchise. And I don't think it's really recovered since. But given what we saw, the post-credit scene at the end of Fast X, obviously that gave us a clue that The Rock is not only back, but he's going to have another role in the Fast saga. Now, we just didn't know what kind of role that was. Is he going to be in Fast 11 or whatever? What is it? Now we finally got some information. Apparently, he is going to be in his own movie. It looks like Dwayne Johnson is going to have another movie in the Fast and Furious franchise, and that is currently in development at Universal. It says Universal Pictures is in an active development of an untitled new Fast and Furious film starring Dwayne Johnson as Luke Hobbs. It says the film won't be a sequel, so it is not a sequel to Hobbs and Shaw, and it's not going to be a spinoff either. Instead, it's going to be a direct continuation of the main Fast saga story, and it's going to serve as a bridge between Fast X and Fast X Part 2. So in other words, The Rock is going to come in, and it seems like The Rock is going to have his own movie. It's going to be within the Fast franchise, and this is going to be like Fast 10 and a half. So maybe I'm starting to wonder if this is what Vin Diesel was actually talking about. Y'all remember when we talked about Vin Diesel and he was doing that little press junket or whatever right before the world premiere, and he had said something to the effect that maybe the studio will do this in 3 parts. So we sitting here like, oh my God, we finna have 3 Fast and Furious movies. But it could be the case that the third part that they're talking about is actually The Rock's movie that just got announced here. So that could be the case. Now the thing is, we can't really talk about this without mentioning the fact that The Rock and Vin Diesel have had some beef. And that's what made the Rock's return that much more shocking. It was very, very interesting to have him come back because they had this public falling out, and that falling out was something that, I've covered that on the channel here multiple times. And it really boiled down to a lot of stuff like the problem was The Rock with Vin Diesel. The Rock did not like the idea that Vin was very unprofessional on set. Vin would come in late, reportedly, would hold up production, basically wasting people's time, and just kind of casually walking around like it was like his ish don't stink or whatever. And The Rock called him out on it a couple times, and after so long, The Rock was like, you know what? I don't need this. I got Jumanji. I got all these Jungle Cruise 1 and 2. I got all this other stuff. I'm out. I'm good. And Vin was, going back and forth and like trying to use the public to like win The Rock back, which to me, I felt was kind of like a sucker move. I'm like, look, y'all know each other personally. Pick up the phone. Just talk to each other. Just like, yo, my bad, Jay. Like, come on back. like whatever. Hash it out that way. Don't be using social media to talk to people. Why would you do that? You use social media, but you got that person's phone number. Just talk to them, So the back and forth has gone crazy. It's been weird or whatever. But The Rock actually does address it somewhat. So I figured, let's just kind of hear it from him directly.
Aloha from beautiful Hawaii. Just tapping in with you guys. You can see I got laid. There's always room for a cheesy joke. Just tapping in with you guys and delivering a little information, long-awaited information. You guys have been waiting for over a week now for me to confirm. So I am 100% confirming to you guys around the world that yes, it is true. Hobbs is back. Hobbs is back in the Fast and Furious franchise. And man, I gotta tell you, well, before I get into the why and the how, I was able to pull this off and get together with Vin and pull this thing off. Before I get into that, let me just say that it has been so incredibly personally gratifying and satisfying and humbling and exciting to see your reactions around the world. First of all, the secret of Hobbs being back in the Fast and Furious franchise, that was a secret that was hard as hell to keep. And you guys know me, and you know my operating motto, and at $7 Productions, which is always audience first, fans first. So,
first of all, I just wanted to comment on that. That has not been a good formula. Okay, I've told y'all this many times. No movie needs to be, we did it for the fans. That if that is your guiding star for a movie, your movie's finna be trash. Your movie is gonna be terrible, because fan service should never come before good writing, good directing. I mean, most of the time we just want a story that makes sense. I don't need all the little cheap, wink, wink, the little corny jokes and stuff. That formula has not worked. You know what the fans wanted? They wanted Henry Cavill. My man said, yo, I'm going to listen to the fans. I'm going to bring Henry Cavill in. How did that work out for Black Adam? It didn't save it. It didn't save it. Y'all decided to go ahead and spoil the fact that The Rock was going to come back in Fast X at the very end. Y'all didn't wait for the announcement. You could have let that just be a good surprise and word of mouth, but y'all went ahead and spoiled it because audience first. How's that working out so far? Right now, Fast X ain't doing the numbers that it needs to do just to break even. It is struggling right now as we speak. But hey, audience first. Whatever. Anyway, let's continue.
Of Hobbs returning, the messages that I've gotten, the videos that I have seen in theaters all around the world, and you guys erupting when Hobbs is revealed at the end in the tag is like a rock concert all around the world, and that it was just so fucking cool, excuse my language, and I loved it, and I love you guys. Thank you for that incredible reaction. So in terms of the why, I think, when you, despite us having our differences, me and Vin, we've been like brothers for years. And despite having our differences, when you lead with the idea of, number one, resolve, but then also you just think about the future and you think about plans that are much bigger than ourselves. And those bigger plans are the bigger build outs. Those bigger plans are the North Star, as I always like to say. The North Star is always my guiding light in whatever endeavor or opportunity that I am in, that I'm passionate about. I always keep a North Star in my clarity and in my focus. And in this case, the North Star is the franchise that we love. The North Star are characters that we love.
It's
and
money.
The North Star are fans that
it's
we
money.
love.
The more
So
no, it's money.
when you add all,
excuse, sir, it's money. Let's keep it a buck, okay? What's your production company called? $7 production. Let's keep it a buck. It's money. Let's be honest. You want a franchise that you can put your name on, that you can have for the next 10 years. And that's okay. Ain't no shame in the game. Because you over here talking about North Star and your light and all this stuff. Yeah, listen, twinkle, twinkle, little star, you want some money. And that's okay. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Just say that. Just say that. Ain't nobody finna sit here and be mad that The Rock said, yo, I just want Hobbs to have a great franchise and branch off and blah, 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 blah. Just say that. We'll go watch it. It might be stupid, but we'll still go watch it. I just want people to be honest. That's all. Just be honest. All right. I don't even know if I'm not playing more of this. Because shout out to The Rock. Love The Rock. It's great, but he do be going on a little too much sometimes. I ain't going into that. But like I said, the Fast franchise is not doing good, and they need this. They need this. Now, I want y'all to remember the budget for Fast and Furious Fast X. The budget, let's see if I can get this up here. The budget was about $340 million. $340 million. Let's round that up to 350 for easy math. 9 times out of 10, the marketing is not always considered part of the budget. The marketing is not. So let's be generous with it and just say for a big blockbuster movie like this, commercials, all that stuff, let's put it at 100 mil. Nah, let's say 150, right? Because sometimes they can do almost 200 million of marketing. Let's say 150. So that's going to give us a $500 million budget, right? Just right there. Now, I've told you the golden rule usually, just for easy math, there's a whole lot of other equations you could use. But an easy way to say is you at least got to do 2.5 times your budget. Because not only do you want to make your money back, not only you want to do that, but you also want to make more money than what it costs to spend because you have to share some of that revenue with the theaters. The theaters get a cut of that too. Whatever it is, I don't know what the percentage exactly is, but they're going to get a cut. So not only do you need to make the money back that you put into it and that you use for marketing and the cut and percentage that the theater is going to take as you make more money, you got to make a profit. Because if you don't make a profit, then that's like a year or two of wasted time. In other words, Fast X, if let's say the budget was about $450-500 million, this thing has to make at least $1 billion just to be profitable or just to break even. I'm sorry. Just to break even, just for it to be manageable. Just so that don't nobody jump out no windows. It has to make $1 billion. Right now, worldwide, Fast X is at $548 million. The domestic, that means in the USA, it ain't even touched 120. It's doing great overseas. It's doing great. But it ain't doing what it needs to do. I don't see where another $500 million is going to come from. And I told you that $500 million was just for it to really, I told you it needs 2.5 to do well so that it's worth whatever it's doing. So y'all have a little cheese at the end. 2.0, that's like you made your money back, but then you still had to pay other people, and you're not really getting that's not a lot of cheese right there. That's like cheese whiz at that point. You want some Gouda, you want some Swiss. I don't know, whatever y'all eat. I don't eat cheese. But here's what's more disturbing to me. This is what's more disturbing. Right now, it's about 500 million Fast 9, which was infinitely a worse movie, probably one of the worst, made $719 million. Domestically, it made 173. And internationally, it did 546. This ain't a good matchup. And here's the crazier thing. This was in 2021. It was in the middle of a pandemic. We was raw dogging the air with our masks. Come on now. This right here was in the middle of a pandemic, and it still looks like it's tracking a little better than Fast X. Yikes. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. You know, keep in mind, they already got the push from China. It's number one in China. But for how long? And is Across the Spider-Verse going to knock it out? Are other movies? I mean, summer's coming. Transformers is about to drop in a minute. You got other movies. Flash is about to drop in a minute. How long are they going to make it to 700 million? So again, while some people might think like, well, it made money. What's the big deal? It didn't make enough. Just because you made 700 million doesn't mean that that's great. People want to get paid for their time. They put 500 into it. Getting 700 million is not a good flip. Anywho, that sucks. How do y'all feel about The Rock coming back? Are you looking forward to the movie? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. This was just a segment of one of my live chats, and if you're interested in joining in on the next one, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications for more. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.